Hey, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to Life Mastery Decoded, where I help you decode the struggles in your life in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, and spirituality with mind mastery, emotional management, and meditation. Welcome to today's podcast. Hey, ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode, where I'm hoping I am finding you living your life free of complaint. If you are not living your life free of complaint, then please allow me to give you one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. Welcome to today's podcast. We're going to talk about how to stop complaining. I have been the number one complainer, I think, out of everybody I know. And I still do it. However, I do know how to stop, and I can stop. But sometimes I just get in that momentum, and it just kind of creates this whirlwind of conversation where I just sometimes can't let things go. But as we have talked about in previous episodes, there is a millisecond to make a decision to change things. And there is a time where something is happening and you can, in that millisecond, can go, you know what, I'm going to choose something different. Because in choosing that something different, you propel your life in a different direction. Because if you are a complainer, you know that complaining does not get rid of the complaint. It doesn't. It doesn't get rid of it. Matter of fact, if you've been listening to my podcast, you know that as everything is energy, the thing that you focus on continues. The thing that you give your attention to will continue. And as we give our attention to the complaint, it will continue. And as it continues, we will continue to complain about it. So here's how we change things. If you haven't already listened to my podcast episode titled Introspection, let me look up the number right here and give that to you. It is season 3, episode 4, The Art of Creating and Introspection at its Best. So if you want to go a little bit deeper in today's episode, and you can listen to this one first, then go back and do that one. But if you want to take it a little bit deeper, that would be another good episode to listen to just go a level deeper as far as introspection goes. So as we're talking about introspection, all that means is to look inward. It's to see and to discover what it is that you need in this moment. What is really going on? And as we do that, your entire world will open up and shift and change and begin to really give the reflection, though it does anyways, but it gives a reflection of what it is that you are creating. The art of introspection is really about getting to know yourself on a much deeper level. And it just allows you to feel empowered. It allows you to feel like you're in the driver's seat of your life, and you are deciding which way your car goes. If you've listened to my episodes, you know that I use analogies all the time. And I was thinking of this one early in the morning. It was like 4 o'clock this morning. And I was thinking of this episode for today. And it's like, think about complaining. You're driving your car and you're out in the country and you come to a T in the road. So you come to a stop sign and you can either go left or right. But what you do is you sit there at the stop sign complaining about how the road doesn't continue straight. Why didn't they put a road in front of me? It wouldn't be that hard. You mow these trees down and put this asphalt down and now you can have a road. And then I would be able to go straight. And that is me complaining about something that is external. The longer you stay there, the worse it gets. There isn't going to be a road just because you're complaining about it. But you're complaining about something that is external, something that is outside of you. So in this moment, you can ask yourself, what is it that I need? Now you can sit there and you can one time say, it's really dumb that I can't go straight. Now I don't know which way to go. Do I go left or right? Well, either way, going left or right could eventually continue on for you to go straight. It's a little bit weird, but if I were to turn left and then on the next road, I was to turn right, I would be continuing to go straight from that point that I was at. Did I have to detour? Yes. Is the world over? No. But if I stand there, if I sit in my car at the stop sign and I continue to complain, does it change the fact? No. Does it automatically create a road in front of you? No. Okay. So it seems ridiculous that we would complain. I don't know where it comes from, and I don't know why we do it. But another thing that complaining does is it shuts down the brain to working in your favor. It shuts it down because you're just in this mode of just basically whining about what is currently happening. And in that whining energy, you are perpetuating the thing, but you are also not giving any chance to your mind to come up with a solution. So in this way, once we're talking about introspection, we are getting to a place where, what can I do? First of all, you have to understand that you are gods and goddesses. You have godlike power. We just are trapped in this human body that has all these interruptions and disruptions. As we are trapped in this physical body, we are living life through our five senses, experiencing the joys, the wonders, the frustrations, and challenges that come along with being in physical form. Because we think that physical form is what I have to move around in order to get what I want. And that's not true. First, as spiritual beings, we have to move around the energy that's in our bodies, that's within our soul, and align that energy with what it is that we want. We can't do it the other way around. And we've talked about this with the art of manifesting. You have to do the work with the energy in your mind, your thoughts, your emotions first before the thing can manifest. But what we do is we go out into the world that's already manifest, push that around to try to get what we want to happen. That is it's like baking the cake. It's in physical form, and now you're trying to take the ingredients out. You can't. It's already been mixed up and baked in and put together. You can't now take it apart. Once the cake is done, what else can you do? Start from scratch. So that's where we are. So introspection is looking inward. So when you are in a complaining mood, and what I would recommend is not to try these exercises when you are in the height of complaint. When you are in the height of complaint, your energy is up, your thoughts are up in the frontal cortex. Nobody can stop you from doing it. The momentum is already rolling forward, and the likeliness of you stopping and going, oh yeah, I need to look inside and see what I want, it's probably not going to happen. But what you could do is in a very calm workspace, your workshop. I mentioned this the last couple of podcasts where I talk about where you go into your quiet space and you're going to take your notebook, you're going to take your journal, your favorite pen or pencil, light a candle, light some incense, smudge the room, which is with sage. You kind of smudge the room, gets all the negativity out. And now you're in this quiet space working on yourself. So you're using your journal, you're journaling, you're asking questions, your introspection, okay? So when you go into your workshop, do this when you come in, take your journal and look at the things that are bothering you. Everything and anything. And then you can title it at the top of the page, and then I want you to spend a few minutes, maybe 2, 3, 5 minutes, set a timer, and say, I'm going to complain about this thing. And listen, if you don't want to write it down, because like me, I talk really fast, and when I'm complaining, I'm just like, I'm going. So what I like to do is actually record it. So just like I'm recording my podcast, I plug my microphone in, I plug them in my ears, and I hit record, and I go. And I have no limits. I don't censor anything. So if you need to swear, swear. If you need to complain about somebody, do it. If you need to, it doesn't matter. So just go. Then you can spend some time listening to your complaint. Or if you wrote it down, you can read your complaint. And then ask these questions. In this complaint, what is it that I need? What is it that I need? What am I after by complaining? So if we go back to sitting in the car at this T in the road and I want to go straight, what is it that I need? Now people would say, well, you need to go straight. You want to go straight. That's not really what I need. That's the outward explanation. Well, what do you need in this moment? Well, I need to go straight. Okay, but why are you complaining? The thing that upsets you, So it's the emotional something is what's upsetting you. I'm upset that I can't go straight. Why? Because I don't know what else to do. Okay, so what happens when you don't know what else to do? Well, I'm confused. Okay, so what happens when you're confused? I feel stupid. Then I feel like I'm not smart enough. Now I feel like I'm not in control of my choices because someone took my freedom away. Someone took my power away. So it's triggering a belief about yourself. Isn't that interesting? I thought I was just complaining about traffic. I thought that I was just complaining about the road. I thought that I was just complaining about how my husband or wife doesn't spend any time with me. I thought I was just complaining about my son or daughter and how they don't listen to me. What is it that you need? And keep going until you get an emotional response. And keep asking the question, okay, what happens when your daughter doesn't listen to you? Well, it frustrates me. Okay, but what happens when you get frustrated? Well, I feel like I'm not her mentor or her friend or a very good parent. And you just keep going and keep going and keep going to uncover the base belief. Now, these are limiting beliefs. Now, this seems like a lot of work, but I will tell you, once you get all the way to the base belief, you now have something at the core that you can work with. Because there's nothing anybody can do about going out there and building a road. And I will guarantee you something else on the road is going to trigger the same response. Even if you were to sit at that stop sign and completely piss and moan about how the road isn't straight, you can call the county comes out, they put the road in. While you sit there, they knock down all the trees, they put the road in, they paint the lines, they say, wait 10 more minutes, the lines will be dry and now you can drive on it. And then they all go back to the garage and you drive on the road. I can guarantee you the next left or right turn that you come to, you will complain again. So it's not about shifting the outside world. But we try, don't we? So do I. I've done it before, and I can guarantee you it doesn't work. It's not going to work because that's not how we do things. So in that introspection, in your complaint, get all the way down to the bottom of it. What is the core limiting belief as to why this complaint exists? What is it? Here's an example. Amy and I like to solve problems that haven't existed and aren't actual problems yet. Cameron was going to a school movie and a movie at the school, but it was actually not at his middle school. It was at the high school. And it was on a dad day. So normally dad picks him up. This was Friday. Normally dad picks him up and would have taken him to the movie. But dad said, no, I'm not driving all the way into town to drive you 6 miles. Can you see about getting a ride? And Cameron's like, sure, I'll ask some friends or whatever. So he's got a little girlfriend now, and she's got a couple of friends. And so originally Cameron's like, I'm going to ride, the girl's name is Cora. I'm going to ride with Cora that 6 miles over to the high school. And we're like, okay. And we do our normal parental things, talk to the parents, meet the parents, find out what their thing is, whatever, just to make sure everybody's on the up and up. Okay. So then we find out that the mom didn't even know that she was going to drive Cameron over there. So she's like, well, I'm glad that you called. I didn't have any idea. Cora didn't tell me. It's like 3 days ago. Cora didn't tell me that I was driving anybody anywhere. So I'm glad that you said something. I didn't want to be caught off guard. We're like, okay, great. So now it's like the movie is tomorrow. And Cameron is like, now I'm not sure what I'm doing because now Cora is riding over there with her friend and her friend's sister, all of girls. Okay, they're all girls. And so we asked Cameron, so, okay, what do you want to do? He goes, well, I'm just going to hang out at the school and they can come back and pick me up. So the girls were going to get picked up by the friend's mom. Hopefully you guys can keep track of my story here. They were getting picked up by the friend's mom, not Cora's mom, but the friend, and go back to the house and probably get all dialed up or, I don't know, eat a little something, whatever they're going to do. Then they would come back to the school, pick up Cameron, and take him to the movies. Amy and I should have left it at that. But instead, we said, actually, I think I said, what I don't want to have happen is that the girls get all the way to the house. That mom doesn't know about it because that's just what happened with Cora's mom, is the mom had no idea that she was picking up Cameron. So what I don't want to have happen is that Cameron's sitting at school waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And then the girls never come back to pick up Cameron because the friend doesn't tell her mom, we need to go get Cameron. And they forget because they're all in their giggly mode and they're getting all dressed up and ready for this movie. So Amy and I decide we're going to start basically to solve a problem that hasn't happened yet. That was our first problem. And I'm sure as parents, we all do this. What I didn't want to have happen is that now at 4:30, he's been sitting at the school for an hour, and then he calls me and he's like, hey, Jen, can you come and get me? My dad said he's not going to take me, so can you come and get me and drive, so I drive into town to get him and take him to the movie. So I was trying to avoid that for myself. Anyway, so what we end up doing is getting on the phone with the friend's mom, and of course she had no idea that, she was going to pick up. So it's possible the problem would have happened. We're not sure yet. So then what she wanted to do, instead of coming back to the school to pick up Cameron, is she invited Cameron to go with. Well, I'm not sure what happened, and maybe if you're raising 12 and 13-year-old boys, you can enlighten me on this, but Cameron just went off the rails. I'm not kidding. He was so angry. So mom gets off the phone. I think she's on the phone with the lady, so she mutes her and she goes, Cameron, here's the option. Instead of her coming back to the school, she's asking if she can just pick you and the girls and Cora and take everybody to their house, get ready, leave the house, and go to the high school for the movie. And Cameron lost his mind. He was so angry. I don't even have any idea, and I'm getting to my point here. He was so angry, yelling and arguing and flipping out and mad. And he was mad at his dad that his dad couldn't just come and get him and take him to the movie and we'd be able to avoid all of this. And he's just literally going on and on. Well, one thing was said there where he was now mad at me and mom, me and Amy. He was now mad at us, saying that we were too opinionated, too in his business, and I'm sure this is a normal, as we're heading these pre-teens, he's going to be 13 at the end of the month, actually at the end of next week. And he's going on, and basically I am feeling completely blindsided. Like I feel now I'm about to go off the rails. And I'm like, we are doing all this stuff for you so you can go to this movie. And anyway, and I said, so we go through this whole big thing. We get to the bottom of it. The end of this big thing, as he's completely insulting Amy and I get very offended. And now I feel insulted. So I leave the room. And now in doing this, and I'm sitting here complaining about Cameron, we do all this stuff for Cameron so we can have friends and have all these experiences and all of these memories and whatever. And we do all of this stuff and we make all these calls and we meet all these people and we're arranging whatever. And then he insults us, right? So getting to the bottom of it, here's where I'm getting right now is I can sit here and complain about Cameron's behavior. That's external. Is that going to change? No, because I'm just complaining about, and whatever I give attention to persists, it continues, okay? So I had to get to the bottom of what is it that I was actually feeling. And at the bottom of that was like, okay, well, I feel like, Cameron hurt my feelings. Okay, so, what was it what feeling did he hurt? There's lots of feelings. Which one did he hurt? Well, I feel like I'm something, I feel like I'm smart. I spent a lot of time investing in my relationship with him. I listen to him. We have a lot of fun together. We do all these things. We spend all this time. We do this and that. And then all of a sudden he insults me. And I have to get to the bottom of what the issue is. So as he insults me, obviously I'm feeling that, but I spent so much time with him. And I think, you know what? I don't feel like I'm enough. Or even worse, that I'm unimportant. That all of these 11 years that I have invested into this relationship with him, 10 years actually, these 10 years that I have invested, it's not good enough. And I'm not good enough. And then it was self-attacking, where now, not only am I not good enough, that the true me that is the essence of who I am and why I'm on this planet. And that was not good enough. So now Jen, not only just me as this parent and this person is not good enough, but now it's the essence of me. It's the spiritual me, which is a bigger bruise. So now I have to think about that. Now that's the belief that I'm not good enough. Now what do I do? So what I'm now looking at is, what do I need in this moment? So I need to feel that I'm good enough. So then here's the gift in this. And believe it or not, once you uncover this belief, there's a little bit of work to do, but I will tell you, as soon as you start going inward, you will find the limiting belief if you do that work. And from there, you can have massive amounts of self-growth. Massive. Things will start shifting for you that you never thought would shift. Things that you thought you could complain about that now are not there, so you don't have to complain anymore. But it's not there, meaning that road got paved, the road in front of you got paved, and you're like, oh, amazing. And it's so beautiful and so great. But then at the other turn down the road, you don't feel the need to complain anymore, like ever. Like it's just gone, all of it. And it's amazing that it's gone. And that's what I'm talking about. That is the hardcore that I'm talking about right now. So once you get to the bottom of it, but you do have to do that initial work, and you do have to, get to the base of what is the actual belief. Okay, so I get to the bottom of the base I get to the base of this foundation, and then I say, what is it that I need in this moment? Well, you know what? I need to feel important. Okay, here's the gift. Give that to yourself. Give that gift to yourself. So you say, okay, I need to feel important. And then the next question is, how can I feel important? Right now, it has nothing to do with Cameron. It has nothing to do with anybody else. How can I bring about this emotion? Because remember, if I fill the, quote, important bucket, the one that helps me to feel important, if I fill that bucket with self-care, then I feel important. It's filled. So now when somebody insults me, that bucket isn't empty. Does that make sense? So let's take another one. Let's take another one. I often struggle with that I'm not smart enough. Somebody out in the world says, that's never going to work. That's really a dumb idea, or something happens. Or if I can't figure something out, then I attack myself and I say, I'm not smart enough. I'm too dumb for this. I can't figure this out. I can't start a business. I'm not smart enough. I can't do this, whatever software, blah, blah, blah. I'm not smart enough. And Amy will constantly remind me of how many years I have been running this business and how many things I have overcome to be able to create whatever it is I've been creating. I have learned about this podcast software. I've learned about email software and building my own website and the store that we have and our groups that we have on Facebook. And it just goes on. I've learned how to become a public speaker. I didn't take a class. I didn't get a degree in it, and I've learned all of these things. And eventually all of these skill sets, when I have my mind aligned, all of it's going to come together beautifully and my life is going to take off. But I have to do this internal work in order for that to happen. So when I sometimes struggle with, I'm not smart enough, then it would be, okay, so looking inward, ask, what do I need in this moment? I need to feel smart. So I need to now fill my smart bucket. And now it's that gift to myself goes, what can I do in this moment to feel smart? And that's it. And then I do it. And then I do that thing. Now, what is it that I can do that's going to feel better? What can I do to fill my smart bucket? What can I do to fill my good enough bucket? What can I do to fill my love bucket? Whatever it is that you're feeling, that you get all the way down to the bottom that says, this is the emotion that's been triggered based on this external circumstance. Because the road isn't straight and now I don't know where to go. I might very well get triggered. I'm not smart enough. So what can I do to feel smart? I know. I'll pull over, I'll GPS it, and it'll tell me how to get back onto this main road. Oh, look it. And look what I did. Now, did the map tell me? Yes, but I was smart enough to figure it out. I was smart enough to put, otherwise I'd stand there for years, complain about how the road's not in front of me. Does that make sense? Here's another step. Am I complaining about something, which is almost always the case, but am I complaining about something that's external? Something that's already been made manifest. So am I complaining about some external thing? Yes, I was complaining about Cameron's behavior. How dare he insult me like that? How dare he say that it's because of me or what mom and I did that now has caused this problem and we got too involved and we're too opinionated and whatever. That may be true from his perspective. That's what he believes. It's true for him. Okay, that's okay. So now, is it something that I am complaining about that's external of me? Yes. Then you ask, what do I need to learn to become empowered in this moment? What is it that I need to learn to become empowered in this moment. So if I'm on the road and the road's a T and I need to turn left or right, what do I need to learn? Well, I need to learn that I can continue, like let's say I'm heading south. I can zigzag myself around to continue heading south. So I need to learn that it's okay. I might need to detour. I might need to relax. I might need to find peace. I might need to go and have a little bit of a head start before I complain. Okay, something about Cameron. His perspective is right. So maybe I need to learn to not be so opinionated. Or maybe I need to learn to just relax and allow problems to surface before I try to solve them. Maybe I need to not go so far ahead and solve problems for him. Because that's what we did. We solved a problem that may or may not have existed. But what I was trying to prevent is that, like I said, I get this emergency phone call. Not that he would have been upset, like, okay, my ride isn't here yet, but that now I have to go and rescue him. So it would have been kind of an inconvenience on my part. Would I have done it? Absolutely, without question. But would it have been an inconvenience? Yes. Did I end up taking him anyway? Yep, I sure did, because he flew off the handle, went off the deep end, and said, absolutely not am I going to that house with those girls. And then he was completely mad about his dad not taking him. And I said, I'll take you, problem solved. But his madness and his anger didn't go away. It was very bizarre. It was a very bizarre conversation. Hopefully I get some insight on that soon. Okay, so if I'm asking for the external to change, so if I say, the thing I'm complaining about, am I asking for something outside of me to change? Here's the first question. If yes, then ask yourself, how can I change? Because remember, the external is created by you. You already baked the cake, right? You can't pull the ingredients in or out after you've baked the cake. It's already done. It's done. The road is not there. Cameron already said it. It's external. So if the answer is yes, then how can I change? Baking the cake. I just have to be okay that I'm going to bake a new cake. And guess what? It's going to be better than this one. I just have to understand that from Cameron's perspective, he gave me some insight. So I need to back up from my freely offering my opinion when he's not asking. It's something that I can change, right? So I can relax into that a little bit. Now, if the answer is no, if I'm asking for external to change, then what do I need? And that goes back up to our number one question that we ask ourselves. What do I need? I need to feel important in my life, or I need to feel smart. Then give that gift to yourself. And if it is an external, is what can I do to change this external thing? So let's say the dogs, like I have two dogs you've heard me talk about, Zoe and Juju. Zoe is a Chihuahua Rat Terrier mix. And we wanted to call her a Chi Rat. Call her a Chi Terrier, I guess. And she is a lovely dog, a 15-pounder, but she barks a lot. And when she goes in the backyard, we have I have a fenced-in backyard, but I have 3 or 4 neighbors around my backyard. There's directly behind us, there's kind of 2 neighbors that share our back fence, and then 1 on each side. And anytime they're outside or their dogs are outside, there's always all this barking. So immediately it makes me feel like I'm not enough. I'm not smart enough to figure out how to get her to stop barking. So when I ask this question, is there something external that I'm complaining about? Yes, because I complain about my dog incessantly barking every time we go outside. Then I say, how can I change this external thing so that I can feel empowered? So maybe there's a time right now that I need to learn something new. So could I take a class? Could I reach out to my vet or a dog trainer and ask them, can you come to my house and train me to train my dog not to bark incessantly? Doesn't that feel better than me standing in my backyard complaining for the life of Zoe every single day we go in the backyard? This is about being empowered. This is about putting you in the driver's seat. Driving Miss Daisy, when she was in the back seat, how many times did she complain? And if you haven't seen that movie, go watch it. It's a wonderful movie, but listen to her complain from the back seat. I would have just had her get up in the front seat and get behind the steering wheel instead of being the driver. I think Morgan Freeman is the driver, and just consistently listens to her complaining from the back seat. Don't be like Driving Miss Daisy. Don't be like that. Continue to find ways to fill your own bucket and also to become empowered. When things like this are happening, it is the universe asking you to change instead of us asking the universe to change. If you liked this episode and look forward to future episodes, please consider making a small monthly donation to help support this podcast. If you are looking for a community to join and have more access to me, then consider one of the following platforms. Chakras for Beginners is an energy-based community that is highly active and growing every day. Lady Rising is a sistership community where the focus is on spiritual support and connection. We hold monthly calls and talk about topics such as today's episode. We also have an online store where you can meet your meditation and chakra needs with products for your journey. You can visit us at www.themeditationroomtc.com. Thank you for joining me and being a valued listener.